Hello everyone, Forest ps4. I have a roller coaster tutorial here. I've made so many coasters and I had so many fails and I've had so many good ones. And I want to make a tutorial because I know where I go wrong and where I can go wrong, and how to make the coaster successful as possible. This is the first coaster I made. It kind of goes uphill in the middle. I had cannibals attack me when I was placing the blueprint and I just didn't do it right. It really sickened me. There's no way I want to lose speed like that halfway. I've made that many that I really want a good coaster. And this may be a long video, but if you watch all the video, you'll see all the things to watch out for and what not to have on your coaster. This is a real lucky run here, but I've made it down. It wasn't the worst coaster. It was 50-50. Half the times you came out and half the times you've made it down. But I really think that there's no reason why in this area why I shouldn't get a perfect coaster. I'm just going to run along here and show you some of the areas that I know that it's always going to give trouble, no matter how smooth of a run you have. Yeah, it's pretty smooth from this point on, but at this little bump here and this massive dip here, it's a realistic the way coasters go, but in this game you really want to avoid those dips. You see here a sort of a slight turn, like a little chicane left and right. Those, you may not have seen it there, but I could see it slightly goes left and it slightly goes right. Once you're coming down that, well, you hit the right barrier and then you hit the left barrier. And once you do that, well, once you hit the right barrier and then hit the left barrier, well, you bounce out the right side again, or vice versa. You want a straight coaster to avoid that. Otherwise you're just going to have to stick fence it almost all the way down, and you really don't want that. There's see that little left and right turn there, that's what happens. You hit one barrier and then you bounce off the other barrier and come out. And if you keep getting that, well, you're going to have to do this. Get the stick fence out and build a second tier of sticks. But that little left and right turn, I came out here on the left side this time, but on another go you'll see I'll come out the right side. It just all depends which side that you hit first. You probably would have to stick fence a fair bit of this section all the way down. It's really no trouble at all. 35 sticks there for that section there. It covers a good bit of the coaster. And you see there that it sort of snaked a little, just a little, but that's enough. Well, once you're going to fast speed, that little turn there, well, you bounce off one side and hit the other side and just come back out again the first side that you bounced on. I'm just showing you all the errors of this coaster. I'm going to scrap this coaster and I'm going to make a much straighter coaster. I'm going to show you the blueprint going down and how to place the blueprint. At the start, when I had done a coaster, I used to place the blueprint from the beginning, right here where I'm coming down it now. I used to place it here and carry it all the way to the destination. But I learned then, you've got to start off in your destination and carry it uphill, and every time you get uphill, well, you're going to have to click to the high ground at all times until you get to the highest point. You're better off starting off at your destination rather than the other way about. See those bumps, once you hit one bump, you never stop bumping. Luckily I made it down that time. A lot of people will be saying you're crazy scrapping that coaster, but it's really not that time consuming to make. If you have a few friends, you'll do this no problem. And this is a good smooth run here again. You see there, I bounced off the right, hit the left, and then came out on the right again. You need a stick fence a fair bit of the section there. So I'm scrapping this. And as always, when you're placing a blueprint off the coaster, because it's so long, the game freezes for like 30 seconds to a minute plus at times. Don't pull out your card or panic or think that your game's froze. It's just this game. I love the forest. It's only 4.5 gig. It has its problems, its memory problems. But there, the game's back to normal again. It was shut down there for a long time. It's that coaster. I would love to see this game have an update of more memory, like a 20 plus gig memory. It would just run so much smoother and better. It's an amazing game for 4.5 gig. But here's my base now. This is the destination where I want my coaster going. You're going to have to build the tower, but at your beginning. This tower here, it's 317 logs. As I said, if you have a few friends, it won't take that long. It's what you do, you get your coaster out, you click it one time, you turn around, you face your destination. You seen the green flag I had there where I placed the blueprint? When you get up the top of that hill, you want to be looking at that green flag. I just carry that all the way to the high ground. I'm not clicking a thing here to get the high ground. You see the green flag there at my destination. I'm going to try and line this up. That looks pretty straight there to me. Now I'm clicking at R2 all the way. That's a gradual slope all the way to the water. And now I'm going to carry it up some more high ground again. This is the only way I placed in the blueprint, my experience. I've tried it from the beginning down. It just doesn't work right. You'll have so many issues. You'll have uphill issues. But if you do it from the bottom down, and every time you get to the high ground, well, click it along the high ground. Make sure that it's running straight and smooth. And now I'm just going to run all the way. No, well, I'm not. I see more high ground. I don't want an issue of uphill again, so I'm going to bring it on over this ground here. Keeping it low to the ground's the best way too. Now I'm happy with that. I'm not clicking it again there. Everything's downhill from that point now, so I'll stop clicking it. I hope I've explained that right there. But once you get to the highest point at the halfway stage, we'll stop clicking it and carry it all the way now up to your tower. That tower's, I'll have no problem giving you a downhill all the way to that point where I last clicked it. Now I recommend you, if you're building a base in this game, you should do it where my base is. Everybody has their own unique designs of the base, the way they want their base, but the area's got everything. And if you've seen my first video, it's an amazing location. You really don't have far to go for anything. You've constant food. You've got caves for planting mushrooms. You've got all the valuable items really close by. You've got all the cloth spawns really close by. You see here now my tower, I've put the hunting shelter right behind the tower. The reason why I put that hunting shelter right behind the tower is because see that platform where you jump off? I want it directly behind that. And that's my guide. When I'm down at my base at the green flag looking up, I want this coaster to be straight as possible. And you'll see now when I get up here that green flag's just directly in front of that board. When you're placing this tower up here, well, you've got to have that point of the board facing as close as you can get to your destination. And always place the green flag. You see that green flag is really not that far from my house, the red house. But when you see up here, it seems a fair bit of distance. That could be a lot of turns. You just put a green flag down at your destination, and that's your marker. You see it's not bang on straight in the middle, but it's pretty close. And now this is what you're going to do. You're going to not stand at the edge of the ramp. You're going to have to stand way back and keep clicking R2 until you get that coaster in. Take a look here to see it's nowhere in sight. So I'll go back again, and you're going to have to look real high in the sky to give the coaster its height. Trust me, if you look at dead level, your coaster's going to be maybe 20-30 feet below the platform. I've come too far, so just hit the left L2 click a couple of times. I'm happy with that there. I'll bring it in one more time. Doesn't matter if it's coming in over your platform. That's perfect there to me. I know a lot of people say, oh, you want to dip from the beginning. There's so many things I want to do with a coaster in this game, but you just can't do them. You starting off slow, and a roller coaster in this game, it's the most smoothest and perfect way to go. You see there, I've got kind of like a straight there, a little bit of uphill, but now look at the dip. Looks perfect. You see that it's just gradual, straight all the way down. And then that's where I had my last click. You see, it's not as gradual. It's because I'm trying to compensate for the bumps in the ground. But I've done a good job. I've only clicked it in a few locations. Here was my second place. Now you run along your coaster. Make sure there's no trees in line with the middle of it. There's a plank in the middle of the coaster. If a tree's sticking into that plank in the middle, well, you're not going to get past it. But sometimes there where the stick fences are on the sides and the slopes, if a tree's sticking through it, it really doesn't trouble. You can really leave it there. But just bang in the middle. You see the plank in the middle? You do not want a tree coming through that. Any tree goes through that middle bit that I'm walking on there. You've got to chop it down and take away the stump so it doesn't grow back. And if you have got friends that plays this game, whenever you take that stump away, make sure they save the game after it. Because I've seen one time where friends didn't save, they just left. And then you took a stump down, and then when they came back, that tree was there, and they could not get rid of that tree. They tried chopping it down, it just would not go. It was there in their game, but it wasn't there in your game. If you're taking down the trees, make sure all the friends that plays with you, that they haven't just saved beforehand and left the game. I think these trees here are not high enough to collide with the coaster, but I'm going to take it down anyway. Yeah, this is the first tree I've had to do, but this is my second coaster. I've had to take down maybe 15-20 trees for the first one. See when you're busting the stump too, that lunge forwards, not take a step back and just slash it. You just take it down in no time. If when you're playing a host this game, well, you can't. There's a log dupe that you can do. You build a coaster in absolutely no time if you're a duper. But as a host, you can't dupe for some reason. And I've made this coaster myself. I've put hundreds of logs on, and an hour and 45 minutes really I've completed it. Just because the location where I've built and the base, it just goes through right through a forest. You see the activation point for putting the logs on. You can get that from nearly anywhere. I just went around with a chainsaw, put 10 trees down, and you don't even need a log sled or nothing. You can put so many logs on that coaster on your own really easily. And if you've got a couple of friends with chainsaws or modern axes, you guys, you'll build this coaster in absolutely no time. But I'm sure a lot of people knows how to log dupe. Well, doing a coaster is going to be absolutely no problem again. Now, I'm real happy with this coaster. There's no coaster that'll ever be perfect. You always jump up in there, even on a straight, even on a pure perfect straight, you sometimes jump up in there. But to me, this is one of the best coasters. And you've got to be a pilot when you use this coaster. It's just not. It's just not. It should take you from the top to the bottom without coming out. I wish it was like that, but that's why I'm making a tutorial of all the errors that you can make. You see, you got a slight little turn here, but it's not that bad. It's when you get the chicanes, the slight turn left, slight turn right in quick succession. Well, that's where you bounce from one side to the other side and come out. I don't mind that little turn there. That little turn may kill a bit of speed, which is what you want. Everybody would want a coaster that you're really fast, going up and down, bumps and all, but this game, you just can't have it. Amazing height that tower gives this coaster. And the only way you'll get this height is, like I said, when you're up the tower bringing that coaster in, you've got to look up into the sky. If you try it dead level, you'll see what I mean. You'll be 50 to 100 feet below where you want it to be. And if you cancelled all the way back, well, you're going to have an uphill problem in the middle. You'd be as well just start off and you blueprint. If you do everything exactly as I said, stand way back there and look way up the sky and click it in, you won't have a problem. This is a perfect start. See, starting off on a coaster slow like that. That's what you want to do every time. An absolutely perfect run. And the reason why I had that perfect run is because I started off really slow. I didn't run try to get maximum speed. I just make sure building destructions off so that guy doesn't destroy this coaster right away. I play building destruction on, and if they take my coaster at times they take it, I really don't care. You'll see here now that I started off really fast. I started off in the slope. And I'm going under there and I'm bouncing off the sides already. You start off really fast like that, anything could happen, even on a perfect coaster. You see that turn there? I hit the wall and they came flying out. If you like the speed, well, you can stick fence that area where you come out. Maybe 2, 3 high, maybe, whatever. Just tinker with it. You patch that up. when you hit the sides that you stay in. I start off really fast here again. It's once you hit those sides left and right that you're asking for trouble. You see there, I was going side to side. Once you start bumping, I really don't want to stick fence all the way down that coaster. It may cost me 400 or 500 sticks to patch that hole fine so that I could really go down. But see now, when I start off slow, I think starting off slow is the best way in this. You'll always go up in there no matter what, but it's always straight up and straight down. It doesn't cost. I haven't even touched the side yet. I'm going too slow to even come out there, so if you start off slow, you'll make it down all the time. I've made so many coasters, I believe this one's the most nearest perfect that you can get. I don't think there's anybody can make a perfect coaster. It's all about starting off. If you can start off slow, maybe an uphill bit just before you go downhill. If you could start off in the little bit of uphill, like where my friend's down there now, and just start really slow, you're going to have a smooth run. See, my friend started really slow, but I'm going to start in the slope and I'm going really fast. And look at the difference. I was just shooting past him like a rocket. I don't know how he got on. Really, I come out at that time. It's advised to let your friend go on down in good advance. You see, I'm trying to start on the slope, but I didn't do it. I started before the slope. I started on the slope again. It really should have been the other way about. My friend should have come out out there with me giving him the speed boost and him killing my speed, but it really went the other way about. He made it down and I didn't. I'm real happy with this coaster. If you're making this coaster, try and keep it. If you place the blueprint the way I did and keep it straight, and start off slow, you'll have a perfect coaster.